See, even at sea, storms subside. The commendation given about the outreach we have to build a Wednesday and others, that the matter should be put to rest. I think I recommend that should be put to rest. But once the storm is at sea, once the sea is at storm, has a storm, the ship will not settle. And NLB is the ship. Secondly, I think the benefits, all the benefits, the names that NLB is beginning to say hi in the nation and outside the nation, all that honor goes to one man who was bold to take an action. But he stepped out of a vow and oath he made as president. So my recommendation is this: we will have to set a date as an institute to show appreciation to him for that action. That appreciation we show to him will be a palliative measure to the discipline that will be as recommended by our elder. The reason why we recommend a discipline is so that, remember that money is not ours, so that when we are called to give account, the decision would have been reckoned with outside. But of course, we cannot ignore what he has done for our institute. This is my solution, sir.
Yeah. Mr. President, all protocols observed. My name is Collins Mwogo, Imo State Chapter. First of all, let me talk about Tricks Olife's case. If we have solicitors, they are professional, because what we're saying is that if you're a builder, you should build well. You know, engage the right professional. And in the case of this, we have engaged professional lawyers, that is our professionals and our legal advisors. If they have, in their own wisdom, they have advised us about this particular case. And if, as an institute, we now want to deviate from the advice of our lawyers, then something is wrong somewhere. Because tomorrow, that advice we did not take may be used against us. So on that note, I want to advise that we we just agree with the lawyers and to take the advice and relax on that truths and other people's cases. On the issue of our past president, Masabi, I think the wise saying says, the voice of the elders, our voice of wisdom. Our elders here, very gray-haired people, have used their wisdom to look into the bag. And they have said, for this institute to move forward, because this is a major distraction, for goodness sake. Because if we are chasing 20 million, 60 million, 40 million here, what about the 200 million somewhere else? They have advised us to relax on that. Yes, maybe at the appropriate time, he might be humble enough to say, look, let bygone be bygone, I'm sorry. So we can move forward. Let's not allow that particular matter to disturb us and distract us, because better days are still ahead. Thank you, sir. Now, what I have said is that we should play down on the Nasabi case, because we have to take the advice of the wise men that have looked into this matter. Thank you, sir.
I think all of us have spoken well. One thing is sure and straightforward. There is openness in our discussion. So I will start from the known to the unknown. The known is that we have that the committee recommended openly that the issue concerning Chuks Omife, Tunji Adeniro, Okedele, Ludo Okedele, and Buda Tanko, 4 of them, that after going through the opinion advised by the Institute lawyer, this disciplinary the committee recommends to the AGM, recommends to you and me to set aside the above subject matter regarding these, our members, as legally advised. Do we uphold this?
Yes.
Do we uphold this?
Yes.
Any reservation? Any reservation? Okay. That one is shut down. Agreed?
Agreed.
Good. The second one is we'll be able to be told here that there is no evidence that Builder Lashabi, during his tenure as president that drove the Shopee issue, that there's no evidence that he appropriated the money meant for Shopee into his pockets. I think that we agreed on that from what we are told here. Now, but that there is a bank account that was open and closed, and those bank account that was open and closed did not respect the provisions of NILB Constitution and procedures. True or false? Good. So we have to degrade the issue at hand by the fact, number one, by the fact that he did not, all of us have yielded to the fact that he did not appropriate the money of NILB. Now we have only one issue remaining. That issue is that he did not follow due process in opening and closing the account, and that he did not take people into confidence to open or close that account. True? What do we do about it? I need two people, one comment on what to do. Is it? Yes?
Let him just acknowledge it as a mistake and tell us he's sorry about it. Now we close it.
Hold on. Yes, Buda Musa.
I share the same view with Eze. We should acknowledge that a mistake was done administratively, and we should pardon him, and we should move on.
Okay. Buda Sansan from that side.
They all agree. We're unanimous enough, Mr. President.
I go along with the previous speakers that let him acknowledge the fact that he has made some mistake and he's sorry for us. We move forward. Thank you.
Okay. I've gotten an opinion from this wing. I've gotten an opinion from this wing. I've gotten an opinion from this wing. Next, from this wing. Yes. Not behind you, sir.
Mr. Chairman and members, I go with the previous speakers. Let him accept his mistakes and apologize and forge forward. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my past presidents here present, Chairman Kobon, fellows, members, colleagues, there is no need splitting hairs. One of the challenges I set out when I became president is to reconcile each and every one of us that have divergent views. But you know, sometimes we need, even if you have a good intention, you have to secure mandates from important people like you to take such decisions. Mr. Past President Tunde Lashabi, this august gathering is saying that you offended the procedures of doing things, Constitution, when you open the account and close it without respecting the provision of the Constitution. And everybody here is prepared, appreciate the fact that you took the bull by the nose when you anchored that opportunity for us to have shopping. But they are not reconciled with the fact that you did not come here when you were talking to apologize to them so that they could share with you. So, am I speaking your mind if I call Builder Lashabi to come out here and apologize to us? Am I speaking your mind if I call out Mr. Builder Lashabi to come out here and apologize to us? If he apologizes to us, will you accept him? Builder Lashabi. Builder Lashabi, please advance to this podium. No, that's not a presidential microphone. Please, your brothers in this hall say that you did very well to anchor the opportunities of shopping. But the fact that you went to open the account, you opened it alone and closed it alone without taking your colleagues into confidence, especially the people that work with you as demanded by Constitution, that they say you should apologize to them, that they are not happy about it, but because of what you have done, they want to forgive you, but you need to apologize to them for them to forgive you.
Thank you, my President. One thing I have learned in being here today is that we have a spirit of God, which is union is strength. Not only that, we may fight ourselves, but we are brothers and sisters. Whatever I did when I was in office as the president of NIOB, I did it in good faith. For me to have made a mistake of opening and closing the account, I hereby tender my unreserved apology.
That was good. That was good. That was. You won't take anything. You didn't buy him, you didn't launch my books. My worry.
Yes.
When I brought him from Australia and Houston, he was
the time.
When he ran away to somewhere else.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, Builder Lashabi, when you finish, you come and have a presidential handshake. I'm waiting for you. And I thank each and every one of you this evening. My eyeballs were getting wet when he was speaking. But one joy I have is that at the end of the day, like what's your name? Builder Ezra, you will work in the committee of this executive in this tenure we're entering. Whatever state chapter you come from, you will work with this executive because you have a spirit of peace in you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think if there is anything we've achieved, is that we are walking into the next millennium after 50 years without rancor. Can we clap to ourselves? We have reports. For us to complete what is called an AGM, we know already that time is against us. But I will, item 10, let us start eliminating the agenda one by one. Item 10 is gone. Item 10 is gone. We have the treasurer's reports, the financial reports, the internal auditor's reports. Before we go on that, I would like to say, reconfirm that our venue for a 49th AGM is Port Harcourt. And by the grace of God, that's where I will hand over the baton. And that's the state chapter I come from. The date and venue is what we have to select now, and we have to respect the sensitivities of our respective holidays and spiritual calendars. So, which date in July? Where is the secretary? Yes. Please let us think about, we progress, let us think about the dates. Before we leave, let us fix the dates. We've agreed. Dates of the AGM. Okay, we will communicate the covenant date to us. The council will decide on it and communicate it to us. Agreed? Thank you very much. It's not 50 yet, it's 48. This one is 48, next one is 49, it's not 50 yet, it's wrong here. Now, for the 50th AGM, we have seen what has happened in Abuja, and I'm sure some people will want to perform better than this AGM. Are there people who are prepared to host the AGM? Which state chapters are prepared to host the AGM? Are we deaf and dumb? After Port Harcourt. Please, I have a silent protest. I have a silent protest. The protest is that one of our past presidents too had to be erroneously, as proved by EFCC, were alleged to have some financial misdeeds too. But EFCC has exonerated him, and he said they have not. Not yet. Please, plead your cause. Smart and fast. Thank you.
Mr. President and AGM, sometime after our AGM at Offa, Ilorin, A petition was written to the AFCC where I was lumped along with others as people who stole from the institute. And since the last 4 years, I have been a culprit and a suspect at the EFCC. A subsequent audit report, and that came from an audit report. Subsequent audit report led by the chairman of College of Fellows exonerated me because the sum of 300,000 naira I was accused of was money I gave the institute to use. And when I was refunded, because of the way records are kept, it was not seen, and yet this was something that had even been audited. I was taken to the EFCC as a thief. And I remained in the EFCC on record as a suspected thief of the institute. The AGM was told I was not, but I'm still there in the EFCC. So I'm demanding that I get my freedom, because I found that not only uncharitable, I found it an insult, and I found it something that is against the ethics of all I stand for. So I'm reporting back to the AGM. I'm asking for action be taken that I get my freedom from the EFCC, or else I may be forced to seek that in a way that I think is best for myself. Because my family is at pains, I am at pains, and the matter is still lingering. Thank you very much.
Our elders that are here, we just want to move forward as fast as possible.
Good evening, my colleagues. I think it's important to make this issue known to everyone here. After the report of EGM in 2014, a member of this institute took the report to EFCC. Most of us were invited to EFCC. I'm surprised to hear that Vice President Jambo is still going to EFCC. I'm really surprised. Because I was invited to by the EFCC. At the end of the day, they said I should not come again. There's no issue. So I think what is done well should be properly done. And that's why I'm scared that even the decision we are taking here will not end here. Some of our members are very, very quarrelsome. And we need to be very, very careful. This report, because it's not the issue that took us to the EFCC. It's a member of this institute that took the report to the EFCC. And some people are still going to EFCC today. So I think the institute must institute an action to make sure that these things are cleared for the sake of peace for everybody. Because I know what it takes for a man to go to EFCC because you are served the institute. So on this note, I want to appeal that the current ESCO should do everything possible to go to the EFCC and make sure everyone who is involved is cleared. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
The President, all protocols duly observed. What the Chooks Mayfield just said now is a real fact. Unfortunately, it happened when I was president of the institute. I had occasion to also go to the EFCC personally to plead on behalf of our members. What I want to suggest now is that, Mr. President, I hope you are listening to me. I wish to suggest that you should personally take this up, that in the NIOB Council and the NIOB members generally, that we see nothing wrong in what one of our past presidents have done, and we plead that we should let go of the book. Thank you very much.
Let people talk.
the President and the members in this AGM. My name is Yudawekete Chinasa, Ebonyi State Chapter. In line with what the last two speakers have said, the matter that is in the EFCC is a legal matter. And I would advise that when the council will be taking the decision, they should, through the Institute legal advisor, write to the EFCC so that it will have a legal backing, withdrawing this matter, because today is actually marking the day of peacemaking, and everybody have sense of reconciliation. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Ustaz Yakubu. My President, fellow AGM members, my colleagues, I just wanted to highlight the issue we mentioned here in respect to our past President, Jambo. I want to say that the issue in question does not only concern Jambo. A number of us were fictitiously taken to the EFCC at that time. And the case, like I said, is still there. They've not said we are guilty. The case has never ended. And the Institute has remained quiet over the issue. And I think in the spirit of family, in the spirit of reconciliation, the Institute should take a position to clear all of us. We are serving the Institute. We do not begin to find ways to reconcile issues. People will not be willing to serve the Institute. In every instance, members will begin to drag us and drag our reputation and the reputation of our members to the EFCC for things that we can administratively sit here and reconcile as members. Please, I'm just throwing the line of all the other speakers that the Institute has, an institute should look at this issue and get all of us exonerated so that we can have.
Yeah, I want to thank the former President for presenting this matter. I don't know that he has been passing through this, but very sorry. It's very sympathetic. But you see, the Institute did not report this matter to the EFCC. Let it be clear to us. It is being said that it's one of us. So I feel that the best approach is to, that one of us, if he's here, if he's not here, let our executive intervene, call that one of us. Let us carry him along in the process of resolving this matter. So that channel, whatever, I even wonder, what report did he present? How can the FCC carry on with that matter without even coming to us to make some verifications? So it is important, if there's any help, the National Council Executive and the President can give, please do it. But I know that the person who wrote the petition is a very important part of the process. If the council can go with him, then we can even prepare a report showing that those things that they are accusing him of is a legislation that we have adopted and then it will settle the matter. So my emphasis is on the person who wrote that particular protest. So let call him and carry him along in the process of making sure that this is exonerated. Thank you.
Well, there's something. Is there any other person? Oh, yeah.
Once again,
make it very short.
Yes, sir. Mr. President,
sir,
I think I want to take us back to memory lane in Edo. When I stood up at this same AGM, telling us the implication. I was one of the victims of EFCC, but when you don't have skeleton in your cupboard, there's no fear about it. I was telling the AGM then that the EFCC, even the deputy director that investigated us, he made one statement that NIOB, you people are just stealing money and sharing money. And I told him, hold it right there, esprit de corps. I serve with the president of this country, so you cannot insult me in any way. So I was taken to a special room for the investigation. So during the process of investigation, so many things came out. But I now told him that, please, for the sake of your investigation, don't be biased. Just do the needful. Along the line, I think everybody that went to EFCC was free. Then, during the time of the last minute of President TV Shuai, I called their attention that you don't handle matter like this. The institute has an image. You write to EFCC. Whether you want to ask for the update of the matter or you are requesting them to exonerate your members. Nothing was done. I still have the copy of the 2 letters that I wrote. So if you are going to go by that, is a way that you can write and appeal to them. You need an update on the matter. Then when they reply you back, then you can now exonerate them.
Okay.
Yes, a woman, where? Take the woman, take the woman.
I stand on the existing protocol. Mr. President, I want to congratulate and thank you very much for this reconciliatory move that you're making and bringing us together. In light of that, Ms. Builder, Mrs. Jagun was mentioned along the line. And in the report, she was asked to come and meet with the committee, and she did not turn up. We want to know what is happening to her. We understand that from what our past president said, she was mad and there is a suspicion of diabolical actions, which is not true. He has cleared himself. But we want to know because she was serving as the General Secretary, Honorably General Secretary of this institution. We don't know her whereabouts. We don't know what is happening. And she was mentioned here. Please, can you help us as an institute? Let us know what is happening to her.
Sufficient to the day, please. Please. Okay. Yeah, past president, what can I do?
Please, what I will request from the Secretariat is that all these are members we have cleared. The Secretariat will write a letter to them, exonerating them, so that at least, peradventure, this kind of thing comes, they will trump it up. Thank you.
I had to attend to a call of nature when Builder Django was talking. One is that I wanted to find out actually what the ingredients of the matter is. But one thing is certain. I will not know whether the issue you raised is the same issue that Onabaka is talking about. Is it the same issue? It's not.
It was the same audit for the same issue. All of us.
Oh, you are involved too? Okay. So, please, what I would suggest we do, I heard when our builder lawyer was talking, and he said that issues that are criminal cannot be reconciled administratively. I think that was what was said here. But having noted the dimensions to which you expressed our ideas and our reservations, what I will request, I will take the issue, the position that was raised, that the council or the institute has to intervene. But what I will request from all the people who are involved is that make a presentation to council in writing. We rely on that to project for them. But must we salvage our people from the grips of image damage? We have to. Because we don't know tomorrow. Builder Jambo may join a good political party and he becomes the governorship candidate of that state. And somebody somewhere can go somewhere and pick it and say this is what has happened. So please, it is my request that all those who are involved in any such matter with EFCC, let them, like another person he has copies of the letter he wrote, address it to us so that we pick it up from there, open up for ourselves a basis to relate with EFCC. Is it carried? Is it carried? Okay. Please, Treasurer's report. Very speak to that presentation. Financial Secretary, be on your marks to speak to that report too.
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to stand on the established protocol, please. This is the Treasurer's Report 2017-2018. Preamble. With great gratitude to the Almighty Allah, I welcome all members and non-members of the Institute to this 48th Annual General Meeting, but it's written 47 here, it's a mistake, in Abuja, FCT. It is indeed a privilege to be of the noble service to this great institute and to present the Treasurer's Report at this 48th Annual General Meeting today. The Institute's major income and expenditure are from national workshop, examinations and oral interview, Builders House levy, donation for president investiture, and other things. I believe it will not be out of place to thank our members and non-members who contributed in one way or the other towards actualizing our dream of having a house of our own in Abuja, that is Tijani Bishai Builders House at APDC Capital Estate at Kaba District. I thank you all. On the other hand, my colleagues, it will be surprising to most of you to know that collectively, we are owing this institute about 120 million naira as a debt for non-payment of annual dues and other levies. This amount could partially finance part of our proposed Builders Superstore on our land, also at Kaba District. My colleagues, we have done it for Builders House, we can do it for the Superstore. The prevailing economic crisis recession has also affected the anticipated revenue for the council year and expenditure. Cost of running the secretariat are increasing on daily basis. This is the statement of account balance as of June this year, with all the balances from our bank accounts totaling to about 7,040,117 naira 53 kobo. The revenues from expenses analysis for the 12 months, that is July 2017 to June this year. Below is the summary of the total inflow, that is the revenue, and the outflow, that is the expenses for the period under review, that is July 2017 to December 2017. The total revenue is 51,410,262 naira 89 kobo, and our total expenditure was 47,102,182 naira 87 kobo, having a surplus of 4,308,080 naira 2 kobo. January to June this year, our total revenue is 48,307,809 naira 71 kobo. Our total expenditure is 42,264,965 naira 81 kobo, having a surplus of 6,054,843 naira 90 kobo. Summarized note of account statement. Above revenue stroke expenditure analysis represent the income and expenditure at a surplus of 4,308,080 naira 2 kobo for July to December last year, and a surplus of 6,054,843 naira 90 kobo for January to June this year. Improvement in the revenue despite major activities such as August 48th annual general meeting, 2018 workshop, president investiture in February, November, December 2017 oral interview and examination, 2018 May, June oral interview stroke examination and annual dues for the current year 2018, as well other income realized during the period under review. Notwithstanding, there is need to cut down expenses and boost or explore other sources of revenue as mentioned in the introductory part of this report. When there is a standard revenue base, the pressure of expenditures will be overwhelming for the institute pause. Not to cash flow, land and building. Full payment in the sum of 46,500,000 naira only to acquire our builder's house at Kaba was completed. APDC account. Total members payment to dedicated account of APDC Access Bank amount to 6,700,000 as at 12th July 2018 for the procurement of NIOB Builders House at Kaba. The summary of the payment is as shown below. We made a total instrumental payment, 8 instrumental payment to about 39,800,000, and members' contribution amount to 6,700,000. That amount to 46,500,000. And the statement of cash flow is at the other page. Thank you very much for listening. I thank you.
The Treasurer's report has been read. I want the Financial Secretary's report to be read, and we discuss it at the same time. Then invite, so that you have a fair idea of the account before you listen to the external auditor.
President of Council, our management team, the past president, and fellow colleagues. This is a Financial Secretary's report covering the council year for 2017-2018. It is presented today to the 48th Annual General Meeting at NAF Conference Center, Abuja. Today being Thursday, 2nd August 2018. It is with deep sense of humility and gratitude to God Almighty that I present the financial report of our great institute to the 48th Annual General Meeting holding today in NAF Conference Center, FCT, Abuja. I am very grateful to the entire members of our institute to have given me the privilege to serve in this capacity as the Financial Secretary for this regime. The Institute witnessed tremendous improvement in reliance on due process in the financial transactions during the council year, thanks to the resolve of the President, elected officers, and the entire council members in the diligent process undertaken to achieve transparency and accountability in our financial transactions. Colleagues, the payment for the Builders House project we embarked on have been completed. We are now tasked with the responsibility of completing what is left in the building. Despite the effort made so far, it has been very tasking coping with the paucity of funds the Institute is currently experiencing. As it has always been stated, there is urgent need to boost the revenue base of the Institute by engaging in more profitable activities and collaborations. We are currently performing studies and analyzing the activities to see ways our revenues can be increased while reducing the expenditures. The challenges in assessing and updating members' financial status is something this administration has been tackling, making great effort to reposition the accounts department for optimum productivity. We are committed to make the Institute and the accounts better than we made it. We seek your cooperation and continuous support in the discharge of this mandate given to us by you. Colleagues, it is with pleasure that I present to you the financial statement of our great institute for the period of 1st July 2017 to 31st June 2018. To 31st June, sorry. Okay, sorry, it should be 30, 30th June, it should be 30, sorry, 2018. The first phase of the report covers the 6 months between July 2017 to December 2017. The revenue is as listed, and within this period, you have a total revenue of 51,410,262 naira 89 kobo. The expenses for this period is as listed, totaling 47,102,182 naira 87 kobo. If you subtract the expenditure from the income, it is clear that we are left with a balance of 4,308,080 naira 2 kobo. Now, for the period of 6 months, that is from January 2018 to the ending of June 2018, the revenue based on the Institute's account set is as listed. You can see we're able to generate about 48,307,809 naira 71 kobo. While the expenses are as listed, giving a total expenditure of 42,264,965 naira 81 kobo, all amounting to 6,042,800. That is the difference. Will amount to 6,042,843 naira 90 kobo. The notes to account, the 47 annual general meeting income, the total inflow as recorded in the book of accounts for the AGM designated accounts, some as represented for the period under review. Please note that certain unclassified payments were made into the AGM account by members who lump up AGM payments with other payments. Number 2, NIOB examination income. This represents income received from both November and December examination and the just concluded May-June 2018 examination and oral interview. Major sources of inflows include examination fee, tutorial fee, admission forms, and corporate interview. The third item, Builders House levy. These are levies on members of the Institute for the procurement of the 5 blocks of 5 flats at Kaba District, that is the Builders House. On levies and fee, that is the total inflow for the year on compulsory levy for website development, which is 5,000 naira and 10,000 naira respectively, based on grade of membership. On other income, that is where you have funds paid into accounts that are yet to be properly classified, as most members lump up different payments into one. If you look through our account set, you will discover that we have make-up certificate for programs. These are the revenue received from past AGMs, workshops, seminar certificates, which are mandatorily required at a fixed cost of 30,000 naira each. The major expenditures for the period under review, that is 12 months between July 2017 to June 2018, are as listed. This report is presented to you by myself, Bidabelon Christopher, the Financial Secretary. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable, where are you going? You are here. Okay. Please, we've listened to the two reports. Permit me, therefore, to request that you confirm whether we should accept it as a document for deliberation. The motion to adopt the Treasurer's report, yes. I asked, Bidabashir asked me, yeah?
I been asking Bashir, hereby move motion that the Treasurer report be adopted for deliberation.
Okay. Then, any support?
I, Builder Professor A.A. Rahim, hereby support that the Treasurer and Financial Secretary report should be approved for discussion. Thank you.
Oh, okay. We are done. So, comments? Comments on the report presented? Yes.
My name is Peter Adesanya Olufemi. Mr. President and the AGM, from the report of the Treasurer and the Financial report, if we check on page 39, for the page 39, where the office of the President, under the expenses. 39.
Yes.
So we can see that for the office, Mr. President spent 2 million plus. If you now refer to page 44, page 44, we now see that Mr. President spent from the period of September to December 1.9, which does not tally. We need an explanation to that.
Financial accounts, Financial Secretary. Huh?
Secondly, sir.
Okay. No, let us take it one by one. Yes. Huh? Okay.
Second part of it, we check page 57.
Yep.
Where we have note 24. If we check our note, in that area it's missing. Note 24.
Page what?
That's supposed to be on page 70. There's nothing like note 24. We need another explanation to that.
Page 70.
So,
this one. Page 70 you mentioned is not Financial Secretary's report. It's External Auditor's report.
Yeah, the same thing will still applicable to the...
No, let us, there are two separate accounts and the tenure of the account, they are quite different.
Rest my case, sir.
Thank you. Yes, Belon.
If you look at the figure you have there, for the period covering July to December 2017, for the office of the president, you have 2,253,221 naira. 212 naira. Now, if you go back to that page 44, if you go down to page 44, you will discover that Builder Tijani Shaib, we decided to separate it. Maybe we should have included the difference there. Builder Tijani Shaib, whose tenure ended between July to August 2017. If you subtract the figure, that is a 2 million. If you subtract the expenditure of the current president, Builder Kenneth Nduka, from September to December 2017, that is 1,969,990. From that figure, that is the 2 million. It will give you what was expended between the period of July to August 2017 by the IPP.
Which is what? What is the figure?
The figure is not there. I think maybe that is why we have the figure should have been placed there. But that is just where you have that. Same thing. What?
The 2,199,820.
And if you check.
That's 4. That same column was talking about. There are 2 figures in that box. Page 44. Description item 4.
Item 4.
Yes, there are 2 figures in that box.
Yes, now the first one. The first one is for the current president between September to December 2017. Okay. While the second, the lower one, is for the current president from January to June 2018. I think it was during the formatting section that it was brought that low.
Yeah? Any further clarification? Are you satisfied with the clarification? Eh? Yes, sir. Okay. Any further comments? Yes.
I'm still standing on the existing protocol, sir. Sir, when you are giving us a report, we expect something from you that, okay, you're supposed to give opening accounts as at the time you are doing this account. And what is your closing account? We only saw the amount left in Access Bank, Zenith Bank, up to 7-point-something million. But what is the amount of the opening account as at the month 2017? It's not here. If you check on page 46, you said bank balance as at on the 30th June 2018. What is the opening balance as at 2017 when you are giving this report?
It's treasurer support.
Actually, it's not here, but we have it at the secretariat. But the issue is to give you the status of the institute account as of now. But for every month, we have the closing account of every month. Yes, thank you.
Let me have the microphone.
Sir, the reason why we are asking for this, if you have an opening account and a closing account, we can be able to minus the two. And at the end of the day, we now know how much you spend during the
Please, I appreciate the question you are asking, because it is when you know the quantity of water in the bucket that you will know what is removed and what is remaining. And it is not reflected. That answer that it is in the Secretariat, I don't think it is the type of answer any of us will want to hear. But he made that response innocently. That we have this amount as what we have as at 30th June does not actually reflect for us what we have spent. It does not give a proper transaction history or documentation of details of what and what went through. At least if we have had an opening balance, it would have given us an opportunity to have hazard what is the bandwidth of expenses that were incurred. So it's, the report is deficient in that perspective. Yep.
But on the other hand, you can take this balance of revenues from expenditure July 2017 to December 2017, the surplus of 4.3 million at the opening account as of 1st January 2018. Thank you.
Beautiful as the explanation is, it does not solve the problem that was highlighted. In the sense that I'm taking the responsibility myself. All right? It does not solve the problem in the sense that the surplus, the details we are giving is from July 2017 to December 2017. But the bank balances we are reporting on is bank balances for June 30th. I would still apologize that it is a shortcoming that has to be remedied. Yeah. Any other person? Yeah.
My name is Adilu Abidjan, my president and all other members. I think it's that time we adopt the normal standard procedure of reporting. Times with that number, things like these are omitted and we can't make sense out of the presentation. Though we accept your apology, but then where do you go from there? Then that means you can't debate the issue. Please, we should adopt the standard procedure of accounting reporting. It's not every time we keep saying this, we apologize for not doing this. Next year again, omitted. I think the secretary should just adopt the standard procedure of accounting reporting, please.
Thank you very much. That is noted. Treasurer, I hope you've noted that. Thank you. Yeah? Motion for which of them? There are two reports. Eh? We've adopted it or we are discussing it. You carry the bag out. Eh? Please, apart from this, I wish to say that I've noted what you said, the comments that you have made, and it will be remedied. Please, it will. It's an assurance. I think we can say we are done with the two accounts. Eh? Okay. Oh. External audit report, please. Yes.
Chairman of Internal.
Yes.
When you look at our agenda, internal audit report before the
Internal audit report before the external. Okay. Auditor, please come and stay very close and feel relaxed. To present the internal audit report. Unfortunately, it's not included in this place. So, but go ahead, please.
It's not included in the program.
Okay, the one that is printed. Let me share it now. Please, I need a copy of this too.
Report of NLB Internal Audit Committee presented to the Hana General Meeting on 2nd of August 2022 at NAV Conference Center, Abuja. We gave thanks to God who made it possible for us to present our first report to Hana General Council Meeting. We therefore extend our welcome to everyone. It is with such pleasure we present this report. The Internal Audit Committee met on 8th February 2018, 31st May 2018, 29th June 2018, as a follow-up to our inaugural meeting held on 14 December 2017. Now, point 2 is our objective: to check the process of running of the accounting system of the institute, to check the record of expenditure and income accounting, to evaluate the process of record keeping, to assess and study accounting software package used by the institute, that's stage 50 issue, to study the process of approval order and approving authority, to check if the finance and admin and accounting guideline is being followed in relation to the constitution, to see if the relevant management officer, in respect of the running of the accounting system, are conversant of their roles and duties, e.g. the treasurer, the financial secretary, and the honorary general secretary, to check the filing process of the accounting department. These are our findings. We observe that the institute has put in place an enabling working procedure and instruction material such as accounting software, financial guidelines, rules of engagement, condition of service, and reference forms, etc. Observation and recommendations. Statement of account. On the issue statement of account, the committee directed that there should be a way whereby the account department can generate a day-to-day account system from the bank in order to achieve daily and monthly reconciliation. The committee observed that for staffing, the committee observed that for efficient and proper functioning of account department of the institute, there is need to employ additional staff. It is consequent upon the above that the committee advised the ABS and the financial secretary that an NYSC member be engaged. So the inadequacy of the staff. So it is the inadequacy of the staff of the department. We wish to know that the secretariat has adhered to that as a new board member with accounting background and employed. Cordial relationship between officers. It was observed that there was no cordial relationship between the ABS and the officers in charge of the accounting department, as it has to do with handling of vouchers and the approval process. Consequently, the committee had an interactive session with the ABS, the treasurer and financial secretary, on the need for harmonious working relationship. We know that the cordial relationship has improved and the book of accounts are being checked by the financial secretary. Expenditure retirement. The committee also observed that most major committee expenditure carried out by the institute were not being duly retired, with particular reference to presidential institution and 2018 NCP. The schedule officer was mandated to prepare a list of all the forecasts with a view to have them retire their expenditure. On annual
salary. The condition of service provided 25% of annual basic salary as leave allowance. This provision is on the high side as observed by the committee. It was also observed that the institute salary advice does not reflect 25%. The percentage reflected is 8.7% of annual basic salary. The committee advised, therefore, that the condition of service on leave allowance be urgently reviewed to reflect what is on salary advice. That's 8.7%. Internal control/expenditure account. The committee also noticed that there is no dedicated expenditure account as stipulated by Section 6 of the Financial Administration and Accounting Guidelines. This account will enable the audit committee, the Treasurer, the Financial Secretary, in performing their constitutional role, and on the long run assist the institute in improving their account clearance. The committee advised that to forestall a complete system breakdown/failure, the institute should, as a matter of urgency, open a new dedicated account for expenditure. Our prayer. The committee prayed that the above solution be considered for the good of the institute. Signed by the Chairman Bida. Yeah, I want to let me just make a little comment with what we have been observing for the past days. One, on the issue of opening of accounts. Well, we need to let the House know that we have to be very careful. A lot of our presidents will come here being indicted in different forms. It is because we are not following due process. Let us bring all the accounts together. And the account should be managed by the management officers. Like the reason why I'm saying this, in the fellows meeting, issue came up about the opening of account, where we have not really managed very well the one that we have. All these things, because of accountability, we need to follow the due process as stated in the Constitution. And we noticed during our findings, we told the management we are not to come and cash things. We want to put things straight. We want to let come here to know that, okay, what we are doing it right. And we have observed so many things. We've called them, we've talked to them. But we need to call ourselves to order so that future nobody will come here to come and rubbish or send us to EFCC because of we are not following procedure. Proper procedure is not being followed. That's what we observe, that even our people order is not properly followed. And the reason on the annual leave, the reason why we raise this, we don't want a situation that somebody, one of the staff, just take off his off. When one of those documents was saying something else, and what we are paying is another different thing entirely. And the institute has good documents. We have all this to be clear. We want us to follow proper procedure so that this will reduce problem of embarrassment on due process, that somebody can open an account and close it. And all the accounts should be managed, even including the women's builders account. It needs to be brought back into the institute so that everybody can study very well. So based on this, I want the AGM to consider our report, and our team strictly adheres to what we have raised during all our meetings today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You are not sent to catch thief, but you are sent to make sure that nothing is stolen. I think that is very important. Let there be no stealing. Talk less of catching a thief. But I would wish us to, somebody should move for us to receive these documents for consideration. Brigadier Tunde Lashavi and Brigadier Agashwa.
I so move.
And Brother Aga, you are supporting. Okay. Having said that, there are very salient issues that were raised in that report. One has to do with expenditure, retirement, relationship between officers, internal control, inconsistency of leave, conditions for leave allowances, staffing, and all whatnot. But let us start from, I will want the GPC chairman to address the issue of expenditure retirement. FMDC.
My President and the House, if we look at expenditure retirement of, it's okay, 2018 MCPD, that has been done. They didn't submit on time, but it has been submitted and we did a lot of analysis, which the Publicity Secretary also placed on our WhatsApp platform across the nation. And yes, we have been giving the retirement. Sorry for that. They all submitted it. That was what happened. Thank you.
Issues that has to do with Secretariat.
On the issue of cordial relationship, sorry, I stand on the existing protocol. My name is Bida Fadela Abiodun. On the issue of cordial relationship, I don't think we have issue on that anymore. But basically, it's healthy, because if we do not disagree to agree, all of us just keep on agreeing, then that means something is wrong. So that is just what is happening. Sometimes we just try to make sure things are put right, and that's what normally brings up this kind of disagreement between us. But we'll try as much as possible to improve on it. Then administratively, in terms of submission of retirement and all whatnot, things that are needed to be set, information or documents needed by the internal audit committee or other committee. We'll try as much as possible to improve on it, but you know, when committees finish their activities, there are always a deadline for them to submit report. So we'll try as much as possible to act on that, so that at least we have a timely report being submitted to the Secretariat, and from the Secretariat we'll present it to the relevant committees that will need such report. Thank you.
I would just like to talk on the issue of account officers that were supposed to have been engaged. We could not engage them, not because we didn't want to engage them, but because resources was not smiling on us, and that could have been another thing, engaging somebody and owing salary. But like I've mentioned in my earlier comments, the issue of staff engagement is in the front burners, because we need to have the Secretariat up and doing, and asserting and assigning responsibilities that will help us to function better, especially in the face of most of the things that we have highlighted today. I think on the issue of internal control, I will allow the Financial Secretary to make contribution on that. This is office.
On the internal control of our financial documents, the Internal Audit Committee mentioned a number of things. The need for a dedicated expenditure account is something we've discussed at FNDPC and reiterated when we had an expanded committee meeting with internal audit. I mean the AGS, the treasurer, and myself, that in line with our financial guideline, there is need for us to have a dedicated expenditure account. Then for the work plan, FNDPC has discovered that, when we discovered that there was nothing like work plan and quarterly budget, we brought it up to the notice of the AGS and the Secretariat, which was subsequently presented to the Council. And based on the recommendation of the Council, the staff were placed on the right track on how to prepare those documents. So going forward, we've concluded on the first phase of this tenure, starting from let's say starting from September, we hope to have a work plan for that section and the budget. That has been discussed with the AGS and the Secretariat. They have a template for it, and I know the right thing will be done. But for the expenditure account, like we discussed with the internal audit, I think it's now left for, or should we leave it as administrative purpose, whether to open a new account or collapse whatever we have, even if it's this Shopee, since we've treated and dusted it today. If it's this Shopee account, the agent can decide to use it as an expenditure account, that every expenditure to be incurred by the institute will be moved in there. Once you have the plan we actually have in place as FNDPC, is that based on the quarterly budget, we just pick income from the various accounts and lump into one expenditure account. And I think that position is agreed with the internal audit. Then on the voucher, we've also we've improved significantly on that. But with the petty cash document, we had to improve on it to discover that there were issues of validity. We had to do a new design where every member, what we discovered earlier was that someone would just come and sign. You know, you cannot trace the signature. Only the secretary staff understood their signatures. But as a member or elected officer, it becomes very difficult knowing the owner of that particular signature. So we had to do a new design where every responsible officer has to put the name, and of course include the signature and the date for the concert or thereof. Okay, I think that has been taken care of on the internal control and expenditure account. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wouldn't know. Yeah, yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you.
It says the condition of service provide 25%. First question. Then, giving 25% of annual basic salary to who? Is it our office? Who? Because most conditions that I know, especially in civil service or even in other public institutions, is 10% annual basic salary that is taken as annual leave grant. So how do we come about this 25% and for who? Thank you very much.
When we came in, we made some documents that reflected that that is what is to be paid to workers. We were not convinced that that is what should be paid to workers. We are convinced that that document must have been generated by the workforce to manipulate the system for those who do not know. But to the glory of God, some of us know, and we know that there is no place you are paying any worker 25% of his annual salary as his annual leave allowance or bonus. And we had to look at what happens around industry-wide relevance. Yes, for now, there is a contention between that 25 and 8.5 that is applied. But for us to be on the safe side and to protect these institutes, and knowing full well that we don't even have such money to draw around, we are sticking to 8.5 until there's any difference. So that was it, and they saw it, and they felt that it's an aberration that should be thrown off. I think what has manifested in this their report should then be that it has to be closed out, and the one that should be adopted, that should be decided, has to be adopted. Thank you very much. Yes, Lagos State Chapter, Center of Excellence.
President, sir. My name is Bilda Jandi Kondi, and permit me to stand on this record. So, I don't have much to say than to just iterate on expenditure return. Yes, we accepted that the retirement came late for MCD, and then we have not talked about the second report mentioned here, the president investigation. We've not heard anything about that. Okay, even at that, sir, I just want to say this for purpose of record. Anytime we are giving assignment, I think it's very, very important for us to give back on the assignment given to us. And I still want to align this issue of retirement to Constitution. It's there in the Constitution. The Constitution spells it out, the period of time that is given for you to retire. So that's an issue I just want to reiterate on. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're still dwelling on this retirement. From the constitutional provision, every expenditure should be retired to F&GPC 2 weeks. Every expenditure should be retired to F&GPC 2 weeks at the completion of that program. And over time, we discovered that that constitutional provision has not been strictly adhered to. At the last council meeting, F&GPC made a proposal to the council, and council adopted the proposal that any officer that fails to retire should not be released, that further fund should not be released to that officer. And F&GPC is committed to adhering to the provisions of that constitution, that is on the retirement. So let me use this opportunity to beg us and ask all of us, because I believe we serve the institute in one committee or the other. Once cash is released to you, at the completion of the activity, you're expected to do your retirement to F&GPC 2 weeks. And once F&GPC looks at it, after processing, of course, it will be kept in the secretariat for internal audit processes. Thank you so much.
I don't know whether if anybody has further comments to make on the internal audit report. Thank you very much. Let us now give opportunity for the external auditors to present their report.
The President and the Chairman of Council of the Nigerian Institute of Building, the ESCO members at the national and state levels, body of past president, fellow members, associate members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The report is on page 57. On page 57, for 2017, we have the property, plant and equipment at 104.8 million. We have the investment in First Bank shares yet to be cleared, 7.6 million. We have the inventory, 5.6, other receivables, 4.8, cash and cash equivalents, 7.8, trade and other payables, 11, giving us a balance sheet size of 130 million. If you move to the next page, which is page 58, you would see the performance of your institute for the year. The revenue was 98.8, up from 91.5 in 16. Operating expenditure was 27.9, up from 25.3, giving us a surplus of revenue over expenditure on the first leg at 70. Then we have the expenses listed down. Personnel cost 12.7, finance charges 235,000, depreciation 2.8, amortization 113, and other projects 43. So at the end of 2017, there was a surplus of 11 million, up from 9.1 million in 2016. To be able to understand those two pages more clearly, as you lay your finger there at, I would advise that you use another finger to locate page 71. However, the first item that should have appeared there should have been note 24. Obviously, the printer missed this out totally. But I'll provide it from my own manuscript. The property, plant and equipment is the same item we used to call fixed assets in those days, telling you the physical assets that your institute had as at 31st December 2017. On the land at Airport Road, 50 million, that's the valuation figure. Your property, which you are fully paid for as at today, is 46.5 million. Then the plant and machinery at the beginning of the year was 150. There was addition of 4 million. Motor vehicles 10 million. Furniture and fittings at the beginning was 1 million. There was acquisition of 1.5. Office equipment 1.3. Computer 2. Totally 111 million at the beginning of the year. Acquisition during the year was 5.9 million. So we charged depreciation for the year at 2.8, giving us an accumulated depreciation of 12. If you take the 12 away from 117, it will give you the figure that you have on page 57, which is the value of your physical assets at 31st December. If you move to, if you're not getting back to page 71 now, you have the software licenses that has been fully used, but that does not mean the asset is not in existence. That's the software you use, the Sage accounting package. If we move to page 72, you have the investment, as we rightly said. Then we have the inventory, logbook, construction directory, professional builders journal, donated air conditioners. There was a donation by Julius Berger during the year to the institute. So we had an inventory of 5.6 million at the end of the year. Then on note 28, you will see the subscription of about 151.3 million being held by your members. If you get a good percentage of this, it will enable you to drive your operating activities better. But what we quickly did, just to let your members know what they are owing your institute and to quickly impair it. Because professional institutes will try based on the cash they get to be able to run their operations. Then the other items there, we have loans to Cobham staff receivables. That gave us 4.8 million. Then the breakdown of the cash and cash equivalents you had at December is stated from First Bank to the balance remaining in Shopee account. If we move to page 43, we have trade and other payables. As at 31st December, that was the figure we had for your building, but we also did something we call post year-end review. The old sum has been cleared. Then we have accumulated fund. This is the fund you keep accumulating, depending on how you do in a particular year. In a particular year, if there's a surplus, then your accumulated fund goes up. That is the fund that your members will say the value of what they have with you. Then we move to revenue. Annual subscription 9.4, annual general meeting expenses 28, NIOB examination 22, corporate certification fee 5.1, admission fee 5.8, investitor donation income 3, workshop and sponsorship 17.8, giving us a total of 98.8 million, up from 91. So if you take the two together, there was an efficient margin of earnings during the year of about 7 million naira. Then I must comment that speaking effectively and organizational wise, this institute stepped up during this particular year. I'm sure the only area where they have a challenge is still the accounting area. I would always recommend that a professional accountant to be engaged. If you do not have the funds, you could partner with another accounting firm, definitely not our firm, to come in from time to time, maybe on quarterly basis, and review these items. If they do this, because there's something we call accrual and matching, and somebody who has not been sufficiently trained in the field of accounting. Take for example, somebody wants to travel to Port Harcourt, you will give that person money. Then an accountant that is not well versed will just debit that person and take it as if he is owing the institute, and the money is gone. Now, on coming back from Port Harcourt, that person is supposed to do retirement. When you do retirement, then you now post it to something like transport, accommodation, and some of this. If we have all this entrenched, there will be no challenges that we've been having with your IPP and the rest. These records must just be there. So I know it may be very expensive going by your lane post to engage a chartered accountant, but you can engage an accounting firm maybe on quarterly basis. Just pay them a stipend, let them look at this, and when you hold your regular council meetings, let them be there. I'm sure if you do this in the next 2 years, it will be different thing. But on every other area in this institute that we have looked at in the last 4 years, this institute has been moving up. Even starting from the financial statements that comply with international financial reporting standards. Wherever you go, if you have an institute of building, maybe in London or in US or whatever, the mirror of this institute is this financial statement. And if they are going to do anything with you, they will take this out and request for something we call management letter. So in my management letter, the only challenge I have is this accounting area that could be improved. So I enjoy the council to look into this. They used to have that kind of arrangement in time past, but what I'm saying is that the guy in accounts now is trying his best. But if an accounting firm comes around and pep him up, in 3 years, he may just be there for you as well. Then we have a personnel cost, 10 million from 9.8. Other allowances from 97,000 to 624, and year bonus, employers, pension contribution. All these areas have been fully complied with. Then we have depreciation on the land, on the motor vehicles, office equipment, furniture and fittings, plant and machinery, computer accessories. Then we move to the Others operating expenditure on page 75, printing from 728 to 1.1, transport 523 to 563. Rent is nil now because you occupy yours. Meetings and entertainment, council expenses. You will see that the difference between what we are presenting and the institute is that each officer will present his own financial statement. But I might want to recommend that even the financial secretary and the treasurer presenting the report in the form in which they present it seems to be confusing the members. If you say president expenses, naturally a member will want to see how much has my president spent. The president has not spent money on himself, but on behalf of the institute. Why don't we go by nature of the expenses? Let us match out the activities of the president. From there, you will see that your members will ask you less questions. The totality of these expenses will give us 43.86 million, up from 41.5. So we could see that the revenue, the institute generated 7 million naira much more. There was a particular item, the valuation of the item donated by Julius Berger, we did not put it as revenue. We put it separately, but as bad as it was in 2017 for even corporate entities, your ESCO went ahead to increase their earnings by 7.7, and if you look at the expenses just moved up by about 2 million naira. So to me, that's another efficient margin of 5 million, even under pressing demand. To me, I would rather commend the ESCOs on that, and I've also been observing the proceedings here since morning. I want to commend the way this president has handled these affairs, and I've also observed that he allowed everybody to speak. So that is commendable. So I will now go back to my own report. My own report is contained on page 55. We have audited the financial statements of the Nigerian Institute of Building, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2017, and the statement of income and expenditure, statement of changes in accumulated funds, and statement of cash flows for the year ended. A summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information are set out on pages 57 to 76. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the Institute financial position as at 31st December 2017 in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, Financial Reporting Council Act No. 6, 2011, the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2004, and other statutory financial regulations. The Council executives are responsible for the preparation of fair presentation of this financial statement in accordance with IFRS, the requirements of CAMA, the Financial Reporting Council Act, and for such internal controls as the Council determines are necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, selecting and applying appropriate accounting policies, and making accounting estimates that are reasonable in the circumstances. Auditor's responsibility is to express an independent opinion on this financial statement based on our audit. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Those standards require that we comply with ethical requirements and plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free from material misstatement. An audit involves performing procedures to obtain audit evidence about the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. The procedures selected depend on the auditor's judgment, including the assessment of the risk of material misstatement of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error. In making those risk assessments, the auditor considers internal control relevant to the entity's preparation and fair presentation of the financial statement in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but now for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the entity's internal control. An audit also includes evaluating the appropriateness of accounting estimates made by your ESCOs, as well as evaluating the overall presentation of the financial statement. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our audit opinion. Key audit matters are those matters that in our professional judgment were of most significance in our audit of the financial statement for the current period. Reference is therefore made to our observations of inadequate postings of accounting entries into the software module, which requires significant improvement in view of the misleading implications. This matter has been communicated to the management in our domestic report, and we are positive that corrective actions will be taken. Report on other legal requirements. CAMA requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that 1, we have obtained all the information and explanations which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purpose of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the Institute so far as appears from our examinations of those books. And the Institute statement of financial position and statement of income and expenditure are in agreement therewith. Signed, Babatunde J. Kolawole, on July 09, 2018. Thank you, President.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate the prudence with which you presented the report. But while I will tell you just to sit down, let us talk to our people. They are the owners of the account we've audited. They are the people that will pass comments. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost coming to the concluding part of this meeting. But the attribute of the external auditor's report is very essential. I think we need to accept this audit report for discussion. Is anybody moving? Yes. So, Judah, who is having the microphone? Waka fast now. Time new day.
Good evening, my president, all protocols observed. I'm calling Mr. Nwoko from Imo chapter. I hereby move that this external auditor's report be adopted for working.
Kennedy.
Kennedy, I second the motion moved by Imo State Chapter Chairman that the auditor report be adopted for discussion.
Thank you very much. Please, comments, any comments or questions to the auditor before he leaves? Any questions? Yes, my brother. You are financial friendly in your contribution.
Mr. President,
yes, sir.
I'm standing on the existing protocol.
Already established.
I really want to appreciate the auditor for a well done job, but there's still one or two things to be touched in that area. Thank you for explanation on note 24. Sir, on that page 57, I can now see there that it was only Mr. President that signed the statement of the financial position. What happened to the treasurer and the financial secretary? 2, if you check on page 58, under note 42, against page 57, we have a difference of 99,000 naira. Please, we need an explanation from the auditor. Page 58, note 42, against page 75, we have a difference of 99,000 naira.
All right. Any other? Thank you, my brother. Your observation, it means that not all of us are sleeping. And for the consistency in identifying the figures, it means that you have knack for details. Thank you very much. Yes. External auditor, you can see that builders are probably very good with figures. You can't deny us that. Yes. Any other comments? Any other comments? Can we then say that we can release the auditor and do pray that he should do better than he has done this year? Thank you very much. Come again. Thank you very much. Please, we'll just rush to AOB. One of our distinguished guests for the annual dinner is already on his way. And on AOB, let us make it. How many AOBs? 1, 2, 3. You have any AOB? 4. That's it.
It's good that he asked.
Junior Dr. Jambo.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I was about to go when somebody said something that elicited a thought in me.
Okay, thank you.
The information that led to our being reported to the AFCC was gotten from here.
Okay.
And the same machineries of the institute has gone through and found that we are not culpable. And the author of the petition is here, my friend Oshinubi. I thought it should be proper that now that he has heard and has seen that there was an error of information, I think it's only proper that he now writes to the FCC to withdraw on the basis of the updated information and not for me to pursue it. Over the years, I restrained myself from getting it legally done my own way. And I thought I did that in the interest of the institute because I belong here. And I think it's only fair that on the basis of now new information available to him, he retracts that petition. Otherwise, I'll be left with no option than to now clear myself.
Please don't leave the otherwise. We will know what to do. He is here. You deliver your message. Just leave the otherwise. Brother Oshinubi, I'll step down the otherwise, please. Thank you very much. Brother Jambo, you made a comment and I want to address your comments. Okay, please.
You see, when I was in primary school, I was taught under civic studies. That one of the duties of the citizen is to report any perceived crime.
Any perceived?
Yes.
Emphasis on perceived.
Yes, that's why I emphasize it. If you report it, the police, the investigating authority, have the duty to examine to see whether there are issues or not. As per my action, a report was submitted and they investigated. I think this afternoon we are still discussing it, and I told me that so far they are prosecuting somebody, which we are all aware, the first accountant. Okay. Is being prosecuted based on part of the report. And it is thereafter, if no issue is thrown out, that they will not close their investigation. But as far going to court, that's my second one. Let him go, we meet there. What I did it as a responsible citizen of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. Mr. President, sir.
Yes, please.
I think there's something that we are glossing over. We are not being too proactive.
Please, I will appreciate if we
yes,
make it snappier.
I saw in the publication of Federal Tenders Journal of the current one, July 38th to August 5th, where tenders information was being requested for construction. But sadly, the technical qualification being demanded is correct, QSRPN, and that. I think the institute should take it up and place it on the table.
Thank you. Noted. Even if whatever approach we will adopt to address it, where we need input from you, we will. I hope you will gladly oblige us. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I stand on existing and established protocol. Yeah. The issue of the allowances that was proposed by the Internal Audit Committee at Bauchi. Bauchi AGM. We started with the operation of the approved allowances, but along the line, it was even difficult to take off. We have to take some certain decision in order to alleviate the sovereignty of the committee and the elected officers. One of it is the issue of the AGS. The office of the AGS was given 5,000 naira every month to run the affairs of the institute from his base, both on phone call, database, and messages. We find it quite inappropriate and far below expectation for that office. Then again, the committee members also, some of them, when we started, we were giving them 14,000 naira sitting allowance, 16,000 naira as approved by the Internal Audit Committee, and we find it difficult, to get their commitment sometimes. Some other people will have to fly in with a cost of 50,000 naira, and what you'll be giving them back is just 16,000 naira. Quite ridiculous. So these are some of the things, and we presented some of these challenges to the disciplinary committee, and I was expecting to get some of this report from their presentation, but we could not get anything. So we need to inform the House that if they give us, executive. So if they give us to go back, the power to go back and adjust things properly, I think we can still go back. But for now, it's difficult, very, very difficult to implement that. Even the allowances, they have to lump it together, which is not even to the benefit of the institute. There's no need lumping allowances. If the allowance for washing, for sleeping is there, let the allowance be separated from sleeping and eating or dancing or any other thing. But by the time you lump it together, what of if I don't dance? What of if I don't sleep? So how will you separate the allowances? So these are some of the things we want to bring to the House. Thank you.
This is this is a very straightforward issue. Unfortunately, we did not help this disciplinary committee with the information they require to address these challenges. One obvious thing is that one obvious error is that Abuja Bauchi resolution on allowances. That's one grave error in it. One grave error in it has to do with where it is specified that the national should sponsor the trips of council members from their states to national council meetings. It has never been before. It is the state chapters that sponsor their members to represent them in council. And that was one of the first challenges we had, because it made it that if we are going to have a council meeting and we are going to pay, because they say it is so much per kilometer or air travel. If we had done it, we would have just committed booking. We would have killed ourselves, But as it stands, we have pleaded that matter before the committee, And the committee, in their own wisdom, asked us to get information, and that information has not been availed to the committee. I should think that the only thing I think we should do, we implore you to do, is to give the committee the mandate to reconcile that matter, because it's creating a lot of problems. But to say that we'll start to discuss it when opportunity that was given for us to submit the information they require, it has not been availed. I don't think it is ideal for that to be done. For that, I would suggest that we give the committee the power to do that, and then we step down the discussion on it now. Otherwise, it will look like blackmailing the committee into action. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. President. If this matter is stepped down for the committee, when will it be resolved? Because I could remember in the assessment, Craft Land and Assessment Committee, whenever they come from Lagos, from so many parts of the country, not me in Abuja here, they will come and they will give me them the data, which does not tally with what they use for air transportation or road transportation. So does it mean we have to, it has to be operated like that till next AGM?
That is not what I meant. The sitting of this committee is not scheduled for the next AGM. The committee has been meeting. They ask specific information that they want to know what happens in other professional bodies so that the decision that they will take can be well informed. What I have said is, let us not blackmail them into action. Let us give, but let this AGM give them mandate to resolve that matter, so that at any time they are giving that information, that matter could be clearly resolved. It's not good to stampede them into taking, stampede this meeting to taking an action when the information that will advise the decision that will be taken is not availed. Thank you.
I think this matter, which the secretary, the AGS is presenting now, my committee was a committee that recommended the allowances in Bauchi. Earlier, we had recommended something in Benin. When the AGS was, I think, the financial secretary or something, or the treasurer, that one was also rejected. They said they didn't have money, and that they would not have money. So the only thing we did was to do what? To trim it down, so that the money from it, so that we will have enough money to pay it. So that we will owing people who will come for council meeting and so on. And we looked at it critically, and it was presented in Bauchi and accepted. If it is not, if it becomes difficult for them to implement, what they should have done is to also sit down, look at something, maybe we can make the adjustment and go ahead, let them go back as a council, and then try to come up with something that will be very effective, and then which they can also implement. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Actually, this issue came to our committee, but we requested for fairness. Let's see what other professional bodies in the built environment are, so that we have comparative view, so that nobody will think that it's shortchanged. That information did not come back to us. That's why we didn't decide on it. Thank you.
Sorry, sir. Mr. President.
Mr. Vice President, Doctor, PhD. Thank you very much. Yes. You see, there is something that, when it comes to comparative analysis, you have to be holistic. At LIQS that I belong to, they have graduating annual subscription. Because that's our major guarantee source of revenue. And also, some other organizations too, some other professional bodies, they have graduating annual subscription. If I were to be in the council, I would have pushed that the annual subscription be increased. Because those who are, sorry sir, they are not graduated. Fellow is paying higher, fine. But member, I'm a 30-year-old member. I'm paying the same thing as a 1-year-old member. He's not graduated.
So, direct your mind to the issue.
Yeah, so the issue, because they talk of regular allowances as being paid by other professional DC. So let us jack our annual subscription also to be along with the market. We can't take one and drop the other.
Excuse me, please. Please, information. This information I'm giving you with a sense of responsibility. I will not wish. I decided not to be talking on this because I'm directly affected, so that it will not look as if I'm saying it because I am the person that will be the beneficiary. But it doesn't make any common sense that a particular 2, 3, 4 years ago, or 5, 6 years ago, that somebody is being paid allowance 10 naira. Then you come 7 years later and possibly reduce it to 5 naira, judging by what is happening in the country. That's number one. Number two is that there was no responsiveness to the realities of the moment in terms of what is happening. In the sense that chairmen of state chapters sponsor, any state chapter here knows that ab initio, the chapter sponsors the representatives to National Council meeting. And by a swoop fiat, all state the chairmen are being sponsored for their trip. It doesn't make sense. So why I didn't want us, it's like my AGS raised the issue, it's like I shut it down. I did it deliberately. Because when we were saying we should present, we ordinarily should come to the AGM. No, because we are involved. Listen, because we were involved, that's why we decided that it should be reported to a committee of the AGM. And that AGM committee, why I didn't put forward to it, that the AGM committee asked for that information to be given to them, and it was not given to them. So if it were given to them and we are discussing it, then I can make contribution. But for me, here, anybody on this table, to make contribution or argue on it without availing the due information that will enable the proper decisions to be taken, I think it's a blackmail, and I don't want it. Yes, please.
We gave 4 numbers, so we counted people.
Please. That's the last person that will talk on this matter. I asked about it, and I will give people 4 slots. Yes, please.
The President.
Yes.
Please permit me to stand under the existing protocol. My name is Peter Moremi Adetoyeshi. I want to talk about the way and manner, modality of collecting materials. There's a problem on ground. A solution to it. I want to suggest, sir, that if possible, we can generate a code, and that code might permit us before time. If we register before time, online, all our materials and everything will be packaged, and it's going to give us 2 advantages. One, most of us will register earlier and avert the stress of queuing, disorganizing the program when you're supposed to start on time. We'll be registering to save some time. Then that one will now make us to generate a code. The code will make us to proceed to have our data being registered. If we can have this data on brand, we just have our materials package, and on coming to the program, each chapter will present 1 or 2 people to collect our materials.
that it will make us to we submit the materials to chapters, and from the chapters they will distribute the program, the souvenir and the program to them. Then whosoever that doesn't do any bill can come and register. And I want to believe it's going to be few members that will come on board during the program. And I think we can generate the code. We can. Our website will be busy. It will make us people to even visit the website and submit.
What you said is very, very plausible, but to the extent it is feasible, is what each and every one of us will contribute to make. You are a member of the LOC, and you know what the challenges we have, even as to collecting materials for printing. Some of the printed materials came, especially if you were here yesterday, we were running around during the opening ceremony to make sure that we get the paper of the keynote speaker. The greatest challenge we usually have is that these materials are not ready ahead of time. Why are they not ready ahead of time? People who are supposed to make contributions that will make up the materials that we will use, they don't respond. Even information we seek from state chapters that should be included in that material is not received. But that does not mean that what the ideas you excited will not work. It can work, but all of us have to be ready to do that. The early bird syndrome. You know, this is the first time we're introducing it, and we've seen the advantage. I think we'll take home what you've said, and unfortunately the third vice is not here. We take that home and see to what extent we can make that feasible at Port Harcourt. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, now that's why I'm saying let us. We are done. Who is moving for?
Me. I move. I so move.
Motion by government. Moved by.
Just the chapter. Move that we adjourn this AGM meeting.
Let me give it to the person that moved it. The seconder.
Sir, no, sir. Have you done that? The next place of.
Hold on. How are you oscillating? You said we should close, and now you are coming up.
Seconder, sir.
The next place of AGM, obviously, for now, nobody has indicated interest.
Sir, we take it to Kogi State. Abuja will support.
Hold on. That is a subjective inference. Two things are outstanding. The 2019 AGM, where it will be held. 2020 in AGM. And then the dates for next 2019 AGM. We will reconcile it in council and communicate it to us. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, please let us not make a jest of it. Are you contesting to host it? You are from Abuja chapter. Please, excuse me, please. You are not the state chapter chairman. It's only state chapter chairman that can make comments on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all members of my executive on this side of the table, I wish to thank all of us. One, for making it to this Golden Jubilee AGM. Two, for resolving on your own volition to reconcile all our members that we have one reason or the other to have issues with. And 3, for being steadfast and patient even up to this moment. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can Builder Ohuabunwa please lead us in a closing prayer?
Please, may we pray. In Jesus' name. Father God Almighty, creator of heavens and earth, creator of the universe, you sit on the throne in heaven and the earth is but your footstool. You reign in heaven and you rule over the affairs of men on earth. We are therefore not unmindful that, consequent upon that, you have purposed that a day like this will come, that a period like this will come, that builders will gather from every nook and cranny of Nigeria, that they will travel safely and they will deliberate safely. Father, we know that it's not everyone that plans that finally sees the realization of his plan. Today, we're witnesses that our plan and plans have come to be realized, even for this age year. That's why we say, thank you, Father. Let all glory, honor, and adoration be unto you. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Father, we thank you for how far you guided the executive, led by Builder Ndoka. Father, we still are going into the new year. We pray, Holy One, that as we depart from here, individually, collectively, that your Spirit will go ahead of us, guide us, shepherd us, lead us, shield us from every machinations, that we will live to fulfill another year, that even when we gather in Port Harcourt, we will continue to say, to you be your glory. It shall be so to the glory of your name. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.